28-year-old Mamta Kafle Bhatt is
Mamta Kafle Bhatt. Y'all follow Steph Case Files.
still missing. She was last seen on July the 31st by her husband, Naresh Bhatt, who has been arrested for attempting to conceal a body. He was taken into custody, whereas this morning he had his bond hearing. As mentioned in my podcast, which you now can find on any Apple Podcast app on your phone, just search for my username. I talked about the fact that he would not be granted bond based on his flight risk. I had thought,
which one is this one?
That maybe his flight risk would be the fact that they found suitcases packed and a passport for him and the couple's 1-year-old daughter when they walked into the home to take him in custody.
Oh, hell. Man, I got to give me some cool glasses like Steph Case Files. Steph, you got some cool ass glasses.
Mamta, who is a pediatric nurse, she's 28 years old. She actually started back in February asking online for help in a process of separation from her husband, whereas they had just taken a picture of a happy 3rd anniversary surprise party by a cake 2 months prior in December. After today's bond hearing, which bond was denied, thank goodness, a family friend named Holly went to the podium to talk about how she started shaking upon hearing the new details that have come to light in this case. She talks about despite the fact that they all surrounded her with love back in February and did reach out to her with those resources, it wasn't something that she was ready to do at the time. The friend Holly, who used to work with her as a nurse, asked the public not to victim shame her for what she didn't or couldn't do. Now we must seek justice, she said. She said
By the way, TikTok, if you want to watch the video with us, come over to YouTube, search The Mystery Project, and you'll find the channel. You can actually see the videos. Come on over.
Must hold accountable the husband for what he has done and make sure that he is punished to the full extent of the law. They are sure that this is going to turn into a capital slaughter case, but for now, they say that they must trust the Commonwealth's ability to talk about and decide how they want to proceed. He said they were offended when he called the amount of blood that they found mere nosebleed, and that the domestic violence that she experienced has now come to light, despite their attempts to keep that as part of her private life. He talked about the new evidence brought up today, such as the fact that shortly thereafter the February incident where she's seeking out for help in separation, in April, he Googled how long after a wife dies can you remarry, and other weird terms. What happens next? What does this mean for this young mother? Make sure you bookmark this so you can find your way back. I have a playlist, and we're going to make sure that we keep up with everything. And if you want to hear my podcast about this, you can find my podcast now on any Apple iPhone. Just open up the Apple Podcast app and search for Steph's Case Files.
I think
Steph's Case Files.
I think we all stand here feeling very relieved. Bond was denied. We were preparing ourselves that it may not be. There were a lot of things that came out in court today that we were not expecting. Mr. Bhatt's defense attorney went on the record calling this a, quote, media frenzy, making accusations that Chief Lugo was pressured into taking action, and really, I think, shame the community for the hard work that has been happening. Hear this loud and clear. He is a danger to society. He is a flight risk, and he needs to stay locked up.
Yeah. Whoa.
Google search. That was new for everybody today. What is your reaction to that?
One, thank you to the Secret Service. This was the first we heard that the Secret Service was a partner in this investigation. And I will say I was astonished. I think it goes to show perhaps premeditation. Again, we are not the judge
What is this case, y'all? Do you guys know this case?
or the jury, but it does sound like there's indication of premeditation. The Google searches made it clear that in April, Mr. Bott was looking to see how soon can I remarry after my spouse dies, and what does it mean when your wife
Yeah, that's crazy as hell.
dies or your spouse dies, something to those. And that was in April. We are Mamta's voice. We are going to look, Naresh, whether it's in the back of the head or the front of the face, we are here for Mamta. But even more importantly is making sure that their daughter is cared for. As of this morning, we've collected over $200,000 to go to the baby. And that's really our goal. What we can do to honor Mamta is to make sure her daughter has the best future possible. But we feel comfortable that the Commonwealth is going to escalate charges up to capital murder, and we want him prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And some things that were categorically untrue and hurtful. He categorized the blood that was seen as the home as a nosebleed. It's not a nosebleed, right? The Commonwealth used Blue Star technology. They will bring that into court as evidence when the time is right. But to diminish what happened to Mamta and refer to it as a nosebleed is an insult, right? No one's going to get arrested because someone had a nosebleed. So we know there were volumes of blood, there were pooling of blood, there were things that we don't want to know about. But, I think a little shame should come to the defense for minimizing what the burden of evidence is.